Hey everybody, thanks for joining me today for the webinar where we are focusing on how to find better, faster selling inventory that won't tank in price. Because I think one of the most frustrating things of an Amazon seller is to buy an item, send it to Amazon, and by the time it goes live on Amazon, the price is tanked, the sales rank is now horrible, and you're like, what the heck happened? How can I find more inventory that does not tank in prices? Well, before we get into that, I got a free gift. If you are not usually following me and you are new to me, few free gifts just for you. I have a book called Seller Central Tips. If you go to fulltimefba.com/Seller Central Tips, it's a free ebook walking you through a lot of different tips to make your life when you're spending it in Seller Central a lot bearable. Dealing with reimbursements, refund requests, trying to fix problems that Amazon has caused, that other sellers have caused, being able to communicate well with Amazon seller support to be able to get the answers that you're looking for. This is my gift to you. It's a book that my wife and I wrote together. Go to fulltimefba.com/Seller Central Tips, and you can get this book absolutely for free just for showing up today. And I do want to remind you, if you stay to the end of the presentation, we are giving away cash prizes. We're giving away digital prizes, digital downloads of some of my courses, and Amazon gift cards, things like that. So stick around to the end, and we will have some fun with that. But if you go to /Seller Central Tips, you'll also get another bonus freebie. It's an Amazon acronym sheet that breaks down all the main Amazon seller acronyms. Most of you already know, like FBA, Fulfilled by Amazon, but what is LTSF? And there's other ones out there. This will help you understand the lingo of an Amazon seller. So take a quick screenshot of this before I go to the next screen, because this is the website that you need to go to get those freebies. And it's just my gift for you for showing up to this webinar today. I want you to know that you are in the right place. If you are an Amazon seller who wants to sell your items faster than they're selling right now, you're in the right place. If you are an Amazon seller who wants to source inventory that actually sells at the prices you expect them to sell, you're in the right place. And if you are tired of other Amazon sellers tanking the prices of items that you're selling, you are in the right place. So I'm really glad you're here. We're gonna have a lot of fun. So who am I? Why should you trust me? My name is Stephen Smotherman. That's my family. I'm a father of 4 kids. My oldest boy is grown. That's my wife Rebecca there, and we have been selling on Amazon since 2011. Anyway, I first started selling on Amazon. I first started selling on eBay back in '98, and man, it was just like a hobby for over a decade. But then I discovered Amazon FBA, and man, Amazon FBA was awesome. Back in 2009, I believe, I was jobless. I was a single dad of 4 kids, so I was freshly divorced, and I needed to find a way to make some good money on Amazon. I tried to sell on eBay to make a full-time income, but it wasn't until FBA came along when I realized I could send all my inventory out of my junky garage into an Amazon warehouse where Amazon would ship it out for me. It was a game changer. And so I started in 2011. I think I said 2009 earlier. I apologize that I'm getting my years mixed up. I started in 2011, was my first year selling on Amazon, and by 2012, by Q4 of 2012, I was awarded as a top holiday seller of 2012. That is an award Amazon used to give out. They don't do it anymore. But I was able to gain that award, and that award went to everyone who was in the top 25% of Amazon sales for that year, for that Q4, for that October, November, December, for that holiday selling season, and had an A+ customer satisfaction rating. So I got really great feedback, really good metrics, and I was in the top 25% of all Amazon sellers. That's crazy after starting just the year before. That 1 year later, I was in the top 25% of Q4 sales. That's nuts, but it's totally possible by selling via Amazon FBA. In 2013, I married Rebecca, and she encouraged me, after becoming an amazing wife and an amazing stepmom, she encouraged me to start the blog Full-Time FBA. And ever since then, her and I have both been blogging at putting together YouTube videos, and supporting ourselves with not only making a full-time income with Amazon, but also putting together this blog. We focus, like our little tagline says, turn part-time hours into a full-time income. That's what we do. We only spend part-time hours with our Amazon business, and we're able to make a full-time income. And so the other half of the time, we are spending it with the blog, fulltimefba.com. Be sure you go there and subscribe so you don't miss out on anything. We've got a YouTube channel with over 200 training videos. We've got a podcast that we recently launched. You can find out more about that, fulltimefba.com/podcast. But we are here to serve you. We want to help teach you what we've learned to make a full-time income selling on Amazon, just part-time hours. And one of the biggest things that we've learned is what we're going to teach you today. So you've experienced this before. You've bought something really cheap. You got, oh man, I'm buying this for $7. The lowest FBA price is about $30. And so I buy it, but as a few days start to pass, the prices get lower, $24.99, then $20.99, and then by the time your stuff gets there to Amazon and goes live, the lowest price is $15.99, and you're like, what the heck happened? It causes me to want to cry and just really put up my hands and be like, I don't get it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. I want to help you avoid this situation where the prices tank. And the reason why the prices are tanking is because you are not making quality decisions when you're sourcing. You're making unprofitable inventory decisions. That leads to tanking prices and slower sales. The prices tank, the sales slow down, and that leads to smaller profits and actually even sometimes losing money on your purchases. And I want to help teach you how to avoid that. You're making unprofitable inventory decisions that take months and months to sell these items. And items that need to constantly be repriced in order to get a sale, items that maybe you sell every once in a while, but maybe you went too deep, maybe you cleared the shelf and you just should not have purchased that many. And now you have to deal with monthly storage fees, potentially long-term storage fees, and items that you end up having to remove or destroy because they never sell. And that's when you have to do that, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even get any capital back. This item's never going to sell. And you end up, feeling angry because of that situation. Well, I want to help you avoid that. So when you're making an unprofitable inventory decision, it's because of this. When most people are outsourcing for profitable inventory, they only look at two things. They look at the return on investment, like when this item sells, is it going to make a profit? So obviously you want to look at that. That's an important aspect of making a profitable decision to purchase inventory. Is it going to make me money? And you wonder, did I make a good choice or did I make a bad choice? And one of the things I want to talk to you about today is how to be confident in the choices that you make. And number two, you just look at the sales rank. And so with the sales rank, you're looking at, okay, I want it to be a lower number. The lower number, the better. The lower number means more sales, more consistent sales. And so you ask yourself, is this item going to sell quickly? So you're looking at the profits potential and the speed of the sale, the potential of how fast an item is going to sell. And most people only think about these two things and they totally miss out on the most important step, which I will teach you in this webinar. So when we are looking online, we're looking at our seller app, and we want to make sure that there's a return on investment. So if you're doing retail arbitrage and you're using the Amazon seller app, or maybe you're using Scoutify from Inventory Lab, the app crunches the numbers for you. You'll notice in Scoutify the net profit is a little bit lower. That's because Scoutify also, you can put in your inbound shipping costs, and it also works that into your prices and your calculations. So that's why it's a little bit lower. Because I have about a 55-cent inbound shipping per pound for the items. Anyway, you look at the profit. Okay, this is going to make me $4. If I buy 10 of them, then that's $40 in profit. That's awesome, or even more. So you look at the profits, and you also look at the sales rank. All right, this is ranked 7,487 in toys. That's good rank. I like that. So that's all you're looking at, and if that's all you're looking at, then you're making a big, huge mistake. So what is the right way to do it? To make better, faster selling inventory decisions in your business. You want to make profitable inventory decisions, which lead to stronger prices and more frequent sales, which lead to higher profits and higher disbursements. I mean, who wants higher profits and higher disbursements? I think everybody, right? Which causes you to be happy and joyful and satisfied with your Amazon FBA business. So when we're making those profitable inventory decisions, we need to understand three things. And it's easy as 1, 2, 3. So these three things you need to understand. And if you understand these three things that I'm about to tell you, a light bulb is going to go off in your head, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I totally know why I've been doing things wrong, and this new way is the way I need to be doing it. Number one, you need to realize how often things change on Amazon. Did you know that Amazon reprices their products over 2.5 million times a day? That's crazy. Now, sure, Amazon has millions of products in their warehouse, but Amazon as a seller is pricing all the time. So Amazon's prices are changing 2.5 million times a day. And then you got third-party sellers who have repricers set up, or maybe they're just going in and manually repricing, and they're pricing all the time. Sometimes the prices are going up, sometimes the prices are going down. So prices are changing all the time. And what else is changing? Sales rank. Amazon's product information page for sellers about bestseller rank, which is also known as sales rank, is that they update it once an hour to reflect the historical sales and recent sales of every item sold on Amazon. So every item has a sales rank, which is supposed to tell us how well it's recently sold, and it's updated once an hour, which means 24 times a day. So when we realize that, we can understand why we make mistakes so much. Prices are changing millions of times a day. The sales rank is changing 24 times a day. So why, when we are outsourcing for inventory, do we just look at today's sales rank and today's price? So realize number two, the second thing you need to do. After realizing how often things change on Amazon, realize number two, understand that you need more information than a single snapshot in time to make a profitable sourcing decision. Again, you don't need to only look at today's sales rank and today's price. So when you're outsourcing with the Amazon Seller app or with Scoutify, or if you have another app that you prefer, and you're just looking at today's ROI and you're just looking at today's sales rank, you are missing the bigger picture. You are missing something that is going to revolutionize your Amazon FBA business if you click on this, if this clicks in your head. How many of you have heard of Robert Kiyosaki? He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and he's an investment guy, but he said this: you make your money on the buy, not the sell. This is true in any investment, whether it's real estate, business, or the stock market. And I remember always hearing that phrase before, you make your money on the buy. And I never understood that. I'm like, no, I make my money when I get my money back in my pocket. That's when I make my money. But I totally understand it now, because you make your money on the buy because what you decide to buy is the most important piece of the decision-making process. It's the most important step in buying something in order to sell it in the future. So you want to make sure you're buying the right inventory. So you make your money on the buy, and how you do that after you've realized how often things change on Amazon, after you realize you need to look more than just a snapshot in time. Number three, easy as 1, 2, 3. The third, look at keepa to better predict future prices and sales. And you might have heard of keepa before. Keepa is a program that tracks the sales rank history, the pricing history, and a lot of other information of almost every single item on Amazon. And so when we look at those items on Amazon, we can look into the past prices, the past sales rank, to better predict the future prices, future sales ranks. And if you're watching this and you're like, oh, I already know everything about keepa, I know keepa, I encourage you to keep listening, because there is a whole lot that you might not know about keepa that will help you make better decisions. So I encourage you to keep watching. So let's go to keepa. I'm going to show you a keepa graph, introduce you to what it looks like. I'll give you a quick introduction, and then we're going to jump into making good decisions with keepa graphs. So if you want to follow along, you can go to fulltimefba.com/keepa. And this is keepa.com. Keepa.com is really awesome. One of the things I really like about keepa.com is how it will work almost anywhere in the world with almost any Amazon platform in the world. So you can go up here and choose, okay, which language do you want keepa to be in? And which Amazon platform do you want it to focus on? If you're in the UK, keepa can work for you. If you're in Canada, keepa can work for you. If you're in Japan, if you're in India and Australia, Spain, France, I mean Italy, there's so many different places that keepa can work for you, because keepa is tracking this information for you, and you can scroll down and see a ton of information about what keepa can offer you. And so go to fulltimefba.com/keepa to be able to see that for you. You can also change the currency settings. So if you're like, I don't understand the US dollar, and you'd rather see information in, you know, pounds or any other currency, you can change the currency. It's really awesome. Now, this is a keepa graph, and you might have seen something like this before, where you look at a keepa graph and you see it, and sometimes people post this on Amazon and they're like, hey, what do you think of this purchase? Should I buy it or should I not? Let me break down what it looks like. So at the top, you can see that it's got the title of the item. On the left side of the graph, you have the prices from $0 to $35. On the other side of the graph, you have the sales rank from 0 up to 90,000. And this graph changes and morphs based on, you know, whatever the high sale, like if there was a higher sales rank than 90,000, this graph will go above that. And then at the bottom, you can see the date range. And so this, I'm looking at the last 3 months, and we are filming this on September 24th, and you can see, boom, right here, most recent information is from September 24th, and then right before that, September 23rd. So you can scroll your cursor over the screen and you can see the exact point in time that this information was taken and graphed. And if you haven't done this yet, I highly recommend that you watch this video, watch this webinar in full screen, so that you can get a better understanding and a bigger picture, literally, of what's going on. So there's some different information showing here, and you can see the blue line signifies third-party new prices. And so when you see this price, this means that this price was the current low price at that point in time. Where my cursor is right now, it says Wednesday, October 14th, and you can see that the current low price at that particular point in time for a third-party seller was $21.31. Now that price does not include shipping, so it could be $21.31 plus free shipping, or $21.31 plus $9 in shipping. So it's important to know that. But you can see just in the last 3 months how often the prices have changed. You can see this green line. This green line here signifies the sales rank. And the sales rank has been fluctuating. It's going up over here. It's going down over here. And you can see the sales rank fluctuate over time. And so again, the sales ranks are changing 24 times a day. And the keepa graphs show you that. Then you might be saying, okay, where's this little shaded area? Well, the shaded area, this little yellowish orange area here, is when Amazon is in stock. And so this is good to know, because I like to know when Amazon is in stock. Most of the time, I don't like to compete against Amazon. And so it's, you know, Amazon was in stock for a few days over here, and they were in stock for, looks like a few days over here. And you can see that information. Now, if I don't like to source against Amazon, I don't like to compete against Amazon, and I can buy some, you know, I'll be like, okay, I can buy something for $7, and I source it on September 5th. If I'm sourcing this item on September 5th, I might think, oh, Amazon's in stock at $12.99. I am totally not going to purchase that item. I'm going to walk away. And then a few days later, boom, it's back up to 1971. Like I could have purchased that for $7 and sold it for 1971 and not have Amazon as my competition. So this is an awesome opportunity to be able to purchase this. Now on the right side of the graph, you see the key, and the key has a different color per circle. When you click on the colors, you can turn off that information. So I can turn off Amazon's information. I can turn off the new prices. I can turn off the sales rank. I can see that there's been no used items selling because it's a toy and you have to sell it. Not as used, but as collectible. But there have not been any collectible items on this particular toy being sold because I don't see collectible as an option here. So you look at Amazon's prices, new prices, sales rank. If you're curious what the list price is, then you can look at that. List price is really interesting because Yeah, list price is at $12.99. Well, list price is usually where Amazon shows up anyway. List price is at $12.99. So if I'm able to get it, if I'm able to buy something under list price, it means most likely it might be selling for more on Amazon. So again, if I was able to get this for $7 and I look at the list price, I might be able to compare that to this Amazon, this keepa graph, and know that I can sell it for more. So, but there's other options. You can look at third-party fulfilled by merchant prices, which are up here. Third-party FBA prices. So you can see, okay, even though the price dropped to $14.72, FBA sellers were still selling it at $22.67, $22.97. So when you see these little shapes, none of this information tells you that it is a sale. This does not mean that an item sold for $22.65 on this particular date. It just means what the current low price was at that time. Now, if you look at the odds, most likely the current low price is what is sold. Sometimes there's a higher price, but if you want to make your decision on sourcing something, the current low price is good to know. Now, this is the game changer for me, the buy box price. The buy box price, where I can see that this is really interesting. The price of third-party sellers went down to $14.69, but the buy box went up to $23.99. So that $14.75 is probably a merchant fulfilled seller plus shipping that is trying to sell that. But I like the buy box. The buy box is where over 80% of sales on Amazon come from, and so that's where I want to be. So I like looking at this information to make a better, smarter sourcing decision. I like to see what the buy box price is. So this is my normal setup for my defaults. I always want to see Amazon's. I always want to see the new price. I always want to see the sales rank, and I always want to see the buy box price. And so I can take a look at the past and see, like, oh man, back on July 14th, this thing was selling for $31.99 in the buy box. Now again, that doesn't guarantee you that an item priced at $31.99 actually sold at that price, but since over 80% of sales come from the buy box, there's an 80% chance that this $31.99 was an actual sale. So hopefully that makes sense. And you can even see in that little pink box, third-party FBA. So the buy box had an FBA seller, and you can scroll and you can look and see. Sometimes you'll see the buy box is from a merchant fulfilled seller. I'm not finding any here, but you can take a look at that and see. Because sometimes if you see the buy box, if you're outsourcing and you see, oh, a merchant fulfilled seller has the buy box, then you might make a different decision on if you want to source it or not. You might say, like, heck yeah, I'm going to source it so my FBA item can get the buy box. Or you might say, oh, the merchant fulfilled person has the buy box. That might mean that the other FBA sellers are priced way too high. So a lot of stuff to think about in order to make a better decision. There's also a few other things that I want to introduce you to. So here is a Mattel CNET Seinfeld Edition DVD board game. A lot of you know I like selling board games. Apparently Amazon has never been in stock for this particular item, so they're not even an option. But I can look at the new price and the sales rank. And again, I love seeing the buy box. Oh, look at how much higher this buy box is. Buy box price $21.47 versus a $9.99 merchant fulfilled seller who's probably selling it for $9.99 plus $10 shipping. That buy box price information is good to know, because the buy box information includes shipping, because the buy box is, FBA free shipping. If it happens to be a fulfilled by merchant buy box person, it also includes shipping. Anytime you see these little trucks next to the lines, it means shipping is included in that particular number. So it's really good to know. And this one has a collectible price, so there's times where someone was selling it as collectible, and again, the lowest price of a collectible one is going to be listed here. Now, one of the things that I like to do when I look at this is understand this. Anytime the sales rank jumps from a high number to a low number, and it needs to be a somewhat significant jump, from a high number to a low number, means at least one sale. Let me zoom in on this. That's another option that you have with keepa graphs. The setting is 3 months, but you can look at the last month, the last week, the last day. Hey, someone bought this today. You can look at the last year, or you can look at the lifetime of this particular item. And check it out. Keepa has been tracking the price of this item since almost 2011. So, and then started tracking the sales ranks starting in about 2015. So keepa has years and years of information to make a good sourcing decision. So let's look at the last month, and I'm going to show you this. With this, you can almost always be able to count the number of sales of a particular item. Now again, when the sales rank goes from a high number to a low number, and it's a somewhat significant jump, then that means at least one sale. So let's count these. Got one sale here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So potentially at least 12 sales on this particular item. Let's look at the last 3 months. And again, we can count the drops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 32 sales over 3 months. This most recent month has had 12 sales. So you get an idea of how many sales to expect on an item. Then you can go take a look at the number of competitors because, hey, guess what? Keepa has a more historical data graph, and we'll show you the number of other competing offers at every particular time. So you can see here that right now there's about 57 competitors trying to get, those 12 sales per month. And so you can see, okay, do I want to also try to join those competitors? Some of them selling it in new condition, some of them selling it in collectible condition, and be able to make some money. Now, from here, I think it's important to go click on this link, which opens up the Amazon sales page. And you can go look and see which sellers are actually considered competitive. Because if there's sellers priced at $19.95, $18.95, $17.95, and then there's like 30 sellers priced at $49.99, those higher price competitors, I don't consider them as competitors, just the ones that are priced competitively. So you can look at this information, and you can look at how many new offers there are. You can turn on the collectible offer. It's kind of a light blue, and you can see how many collectible offers that are there. And if you're interested, you can look at the rating and the review count of how many reviews this item has been receiving, and you can make a better decision. Here's something else that's fun. I'm going to look at the lifetime, and then here's a trick. If you hold your cursor down, you can scroll across and you can zoom in to any particular point in time. So that's a fun little hack that you can use to be able to zoom in at different times. And you can see something really interesting. You see that around here, the sales rank improves, and it's kind of normal. And then it really improves for a while, and then it's normal, and then it improves here, and then it's normal. So it improves right here, and then it's normal. What do you think is going on at this time when the sales rank has improved a lot? This is Q4. This is November and December where the sales ranks are improving, but look at what else is going on. The prices are increasing. The prices are going down during the year, then they go up during Q4, and then down, and then up during Q4, and then down, and then up, and then down. And so you can almost see, let's zoom in right here. So you can see of how the prices go up, and that's the buy box price right here, and the sales rank gets even better. So there's some really good Q4 decisions you can make when you're outsourcing, because just because you're looking at today, if you're looking at this on October 13th and you're like, all right, the buy box is at $11.98, that's not really good for me, I'm gonna pass. But what if you looked at a keepa graph and you saw, man, the last 3 years or the last 2 years, or even last year, this item really went up in price to $19.95, almost doubled in price. So you can make a really good decision. I'm going to go back to the last month where we said there was about 12 sales for this month. I'm going to get rid of the historical data. I want to hover over this. This is a statistic area that gives you really great information. So with this one, you can see that it gives you the average sales rank over time, 214,000 over the last 190 days, but over the last 180 days, 190,000. And under that, drops. Drops on a keepa graph are anytime the number goes from a high number to a low number. So remember how we counted that there was potentially 11 sales for this, 11 sales a month for this, or no, 12 sales a month for this particular item? That equals the drops that we can see here. So again, drops are just estimates. They are not guaranteed 12 sales because every sales rank number, when it goes from a high number to a low number, does not mean a sale. It just means that at least one sale. It does not mean one sale. It just means at least one sale when a number goes from a high number to a low number. Now you might be seeing this little area right here where it goes up and goes down a little bit, up and then down a little bit, up and then down. Are those sales? No, those are not sales. Those are just market fluctuations, inventory fluctuations, more toys coming into the Amazon catalog, some toys leaving the Amazon catalog because they've been sold out or because Amazon's removed them because of all sorts of reasons. So if you ever see little squigglies up at the top, those are not sales. It's the significant jumps that count for the sales. And then let's look at this one. This is a graph that shows Amazon going in and out of stock a lot. And if I ever see graphs like this, then I don't worry about Amazon being my competition. I don't worry about Amazon being my competition because I know they'll go in and out of stock. Again, every time you see a shaded area, that's Amazon in stock. The white area, Amazon is out of stock. And so I don't mind trying to sell this item. This is a toy that's ranked on average around 6,000. That means lots of sales. And so it's something for you to be able to make a better sourcing decision. That's a little introduction to keepa and how it can help you make smarter sourcing decisions. So let's talk about avoiding taking prices because of these graphs. I want to show you of how keepa saved me from making a huge mistake. On August 18th, I sourced an item that I thought would be awesome to sell because it had a really good sales rank in the category. And I was like, all right, this thing has a really good sales rank and I can buy it for $25 and sell it for $149. That's a no-brainer, right? Well, if I didn't use my brain, I would make a bad decision and purchase it because just hours before, I mean, literally, you can see 10 o'clock versus 6:30, just hours before, the rank was over 7.2 million. And it just happened to, someone happened to purchase it a few hours before, before I looked at it to buy for resale. And so just that one sale improved the rank so much. And so a lot of times you might be sourcing an item that has a good sales rank right now, but yesterday or last week had a horrible sales rank that you wouldn't even ever touch with a 10-foot pole. And so when you're looking at that, make sure that you look at that keepa information to make a better decision, because this is one of those times where the sales rank tanks. And when sales rank tanks, that means, oh my gosh, look at this. This is the last 3 months. This is sold once in 3 months. What if I purchase multiples of these? I'd be stuck with monthly storage fees, or I might have to store it in my home, and this item would never sell. So being able to see a keepa graph saved me from making really bad decisions. Here's another one. Sometimes if you're outsourcing an item, and a lot of times we have limits that we come up with. So say, I'm never going to buy a toy ranked over 200,000 in toys. Never going to buy a toy ranked over 200,000. I'm just not going to. Well, if that ever happened, if I was sourcing this particular toy on this particular day, I would pass on this particular toy because it's ranked over 200,000. But the rest of the year, it's ranked really great and had a really high selling price. The only reason they got up to a higher rank was because it was out of stock. Again, looking at this historical information, you can see this item went out of stock, so there was nothing to sell. So that's why the sales rank got really bad. So that's another thing to think about when you're outsourcing. So realize how often things change on Amazon. Understand that you need more information than that single little snapshot in time to make a profitable sourcing decision, and look at keepa to make a better decision. So here's the thing with the Amazon Seller app versus Scoutify. The Amazon Seller app does not have any quick links to keepa, or does not give you the ability to have any kind of quick link to keepa. But Scoutify does give you an option to create a quick link to a keepa graph. If you click on the research button after creating a quick link to keepa, and if you go to fulltimefba.com/ASIN link, ASINLINK, then that will walk you through how to create a quick link in Scoutify to add a keepa link. But if you click on the research button, it opens up a little menu where you can click keepa as an option. And that's why I use Scoutify. I love using Scoutify. Scoutify comes bundled with Inventory Lab. You get 30 days free with it, fulltimefba.com/Inventory Lab. In fact, let me show you what it looks like. All right. So this is me on my phone, Scoutify app. So I can scan the little push the little barcode button at below. It opens up my camera, and I can use that camera to scan the barcode. So the barcode comes up, gives me the information. I can see the title, I can see the sales rank. I can type in my cost, and it will give me the return on investment. And so, there's $8 cost, return on investment. So, but if I click the research button, then I can see right there in the middle that I have a quick link to see a keepa graph. So a lot of different links that Scoutify gives you, but you can enter in your own keepa graph, which will load up very quickly a keepa graph. And then you can just use your finger and look through and be like, okay, well, Amazon's in stock a lot for this, but there's the prices are still pretty competitive. You can still see the different options that you have on the side, and you can click those to turn things on and off. And so if you want to click to turn on the buy box, I can see on a keepa graph that this is an item Amazon shares the buy box on. That's another little trick you can use with the buy box. But you can see that even though Amazon has it for $35.99, they are sharing the buy box with a third-party seller for $30.94. And so this helps you make better sourcing decisions. This helps you find more inventory that's actually profitable. Stuff that you might pass on in the past, you might decide to buy because you see, oh, Amazon shares the buy box here. And that's really good information for you to know to be able to make a smarter sourcing decision. And again, you can just scroll along with your finger and make a better decision by getting a quick little link, quick little view of that information. And so we'll click on the little statistic area, and again, same type of information there where it opens up and will give you the average sales ranks, the average number of drops. And so I can see this item, 91K in the last 90 days. I can see what I feel like that compared to my sales rank comfort zones. And if I want a longer time period, 126K in 180 days. And this item has 38 drops per month. So a lot of really good information that keepa gives you to make a smarter sourcing decision. It's a game changer, and it helps me find items that don't really tank in price. And so again, the Scoutify sourcing app, there's a link if you want to learn how to put the keepa graph link into Scoutify, fulltimefba.com/ASIN link, and then fulltimefba.com/Inventory Lab if you want to sign up for Inventory Lab, learn all about that. And it comes with the Scoutify sourcing app so that you can make better sourcing decisions and better pricing decisions with that information. Also tells you if you are restricted for a particular item. And so you can click on the restrictions link, and it tells you if you're restricted for the item that's a new or used or collectible. Sometimes we're restricted from all, but sometimes we're just restricted from selling it as new. But we can take a look at the used or collectible prices and can get that information from a keepa graph to make a good decision, and might be able to buy it and selling it as collectible like new instead of new condition if we're restricted for new. Because a lot of times we might be restricted to sell it in new, but not a used or collectible price. So again, this should stop happening once you start understanding and learning keepa. Buying something for $7, the price tanks, it causes you to cry. But let's talk about avoiding tanking prices. You can use this information to avoid taking prices most of the time, but I have to be honest with you. Prices are always going to be fluid, but making better sourcing decisions will lower the chances that your competition will lower their prices. It's not a guarantee, and a lot of times it could be that the competition actually raises their prices because they're also using keepa graphs too and seeing that in play. So this is not going to help you completely avoid items that tank in price, but a lot of times items tank in price because the sales rate is so bad and that people are trying to tank, they're lowering their price trying to get the next sale. Or there's way too many competitors and they're lowering their price to get the next sale. But now you can see if the sales rank is too high, if you look at the average sales rank, if it's too high, you can see how many competitors are going on, and you can avoid purchasing those items that might tank in price. Here's what's going on when it comes to the race to the bottom. Race to the bottom is a term that people have termed, you know, I'm 1999. Well, I'm 1998. Well, I'm 1997. Well, I'm priced at 1996. Well, I'm priced at 1982. Well, I'm priced at $17. And they're just like, stop it. Nobody wins the race to the bottom. But here's what happens if the prices have gone down. Most likely, supply is now outweighing the demand. That's what happens usually when prices tank. And maybe if you practice some patience, some prices will recover. Here's a keepa graph where you can see, oh man, the supply of this particular item just skyrocketed. I'm thinking somewhere around here there was a big Walmart or Target clearance sale where everybody purchased it. And this item rose in quantity, and that's why it fell in price. Supply went up, prices went down. So if you are sourcing this item on this particular day right here, you might look at the new offer count and be like, oh my gosh, this thing is like hockey sticked. I mean, that's why it's called a hockey stick. It looks like one. This thing is hockey sticked, and the prices are not as good as they were yesterday or the week before. Most likely you can predict that in the future, that same thing is going to happen. More competitors are going to come in, and the prices are going to continue to fall. So this will help you buy from buying an item that might look good today, but a week from now when it finally gets to an Amazon warehouse, it might not be as good anymore. So this will help you make smarter sourcing decisions. So let's talk about avoiding tanking prices. These are the best tips. Don't just look at the current price, but look at the price history. You know how to do that now with keepa. Secondly, if you're sourcing for item at a big clearance sale, a major retail store, understand that it's possibly hundreds of other online sellers are probably doing the exact same thing. So when Target has their big end of summer clearance toy sale, when they start off at 15% and then 30% and 50% and 70%, I purchased things at that sale before. And so I understand that I have to be a lot more selective with those items that I purchase, because a lot of times the market is about to be flooded with those items. And so unless you're willing to wait it out, don't go too deep on items at one of those major retail store clearance sales. And don't be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Don't be a self-fulfilling prophecy by complaining about prices tanking and then responding by blindly lowering your own prices. The key word is blindly. You want to make sure that when you do lower your prices, it's for a good decision, it's for a good reason. So understand that sometimes you made a mistake, and there's gonna be times where you need to lower your price. And so be okay with that, with items that are mistakes. Write it off, think of it as a learning experience, because you might have sourced this particular item on this day when it was selling for 66 bucks. Now it's selling for 66 bucks, and you're like, oh, their sales rank is awesome, the sales price is awesome, but then the next day, you know, clank, it tanked. And now it's back to selling for about $43, $44, and your ROI is gone, and all these other competitors are also selling it as well. So understand, if you had looked at this item with the keepa graph, you would have seen this price is pretty solid for all year long, because I'm looking at the last year. For almost all year long, this price has been pretty solid. But recently it's gone up, but then it's gone back down, but then it's gone up, but then it's gone back down, and it's gone back up. You could expect that to happen again in the future, that the price is going to fall, and sure enough, it did. It fall. So you can look at this item, and sometimes this might take a little bit more time at first, but you're going to learn more from it. When you realize I need to lower my price to get the sale, go take a look at the keepa graph and figure out how could I have avoided this in the future? How could I have avoided this before, and how can I avoid it in the future? What did I miss before where I can see how things have gone wrong? So you can look at a keepa graph and see that information. So again, find out what went wrong so you can learn, so you don't repeat your mistakes again in the future, because that is going to ruin you in your Amazon FBA business. So I totally recommend checking out Keepa. I forgot to put the link on it, but fulltimefba.com/Keepa is the tool that you can use. And Keepa has both a paid and a free version. The free version tracks the pricing history for almost every single item on Amazon, but the paid version includes the sales rank information, which I think is crucial, and also includes the buy box link, so you can see what the buy box is at any particular time. And then a bunch of other features comes with the paid. It's pretty affordable. Right now, as a recording, it's around $17 or $18 a month to use that. But the price that you pay for using Keepa is like more, I mean, it's going to save you from making bad buying decisions, and it's going to help you find more inventory that other people are passing that, but you see the potential. You're like, hey, in a month, this thing is going to be selling really well. This is a temporary low. So be looking at that and make those decisions. Use Keepa. I totally recommend it 100%. And if you are interested in more information, Ben Franklin has a quote: "The best investment is in the tools of one's own trade." Keepa, one of the best investments that you can make. And if what I told you in this webinar has interest you, and you're like, man, I wish I knew more about Keepa, I have a complete course called the Reseller to Keepa, using Amazon sales history to make smart sourcing decisions. But it's even more than that. It's about profitable pricing decisions. It's about knowing how deep to go on a buy. The Keepa course, it's over 30 videos. We're up to 34 right now, 34 videos, and we're going to continue to add more. The more I learn about Keepa, the more videos I'm going to add. That with over 5 hours of laser-focused training, I think each video is probably around 6 or 7 minutes long, that will help you work you through everything you need to know. We have 4 bonuses that you can get, lifetime updates. In fact, this course is an update to a previous course that we were selling, and whoever purchased the previous course gets this update for free. In fact, it's already in their full-time FBA account. So anytime we update this course with more videos, more bonuses, Keepa continues to evolve, so we're going to evolve with it, and we're going to add more stuff with how Keepa adds more information and more options so that we can make better decisions. You get all that for free. 60-day money-back guarantee, and if you go to fulltimefba.com/Keepa course, use the coupon code Keepa. That's creative, isn't it? It will save you $20 off of this course. And in this course, I talk to you about how to look at a Keepa graph and understand parent-child relationships, because those are variations, you know, like a polo shirt. So the polo shirt has red extra large, red medium, and white large and white medium. And there's like, well, there's a parent one that goes over the entire item, and then there's child variations that are all the individual ones. Keepa shows the information for that a little bit differently than just items that are just their own items. But yeah, I'll walk you through how to do an even better job of counting sales, how to know if you should compete with Amazon or not, how to use Keepa for so many different things when you're outsourcing, how to prepare for Q4, how to deal with seasonal items, seasonal pricing, seasonal sourcing, to be able to use Keepa in every single aspect of your business, like pricing decisions, sourcing decisions. You're going to find more inventory that will help you make more money, and I really recommend it. fulltimefba.com/Keepa course is what can help you. And again, 60-day money-back guarantee. fulltimefba.com/Keepa course. Now, in just a second, I'm going to answer some questions from y'all. You've been putting those questions already in the questions section in GoToWebinar, and I'm going to do my best to answer as many questions as I can to better serve you. But let me see what your questions are, and we'll do our best to answer. Someone asked, is there a faster way to have Keepa count the drops for you, or do you always have to manually count the drops? For example, in the last 50 days, I want to know how many drops. So if, yeah, you can go and count the drops in that little statistics graph. If you go to the statistics graph, keepa will count those for you. And again, that doesn't mean that's how many sales, but that's just how many times the sales rank has dropped. And then, so you can do that, and it helps you make a better decision. It does not always mean exact sales, so you can't know that. It just, is just a little bit more information to help you know. Ashley said, why are there no pink boxes earlier in the year when there were sales? So sometimes keepa goes in for some items once a day to get the information. Some other times keepa will go in multiple times a day. The more times people seek the information for a keepa graph, the more often it updates, because sometimes, yeah, it will update it multiple times a day to get that information. Sometimes there's not a pink box because either there was not maybe the buy box was suppressed, so there was no buy box. And there's no real rhyme or reason of when keepa, like keepa's not gonna have a little box all the time. Keepa just has those boxes. They just go in every once in a while to get the current buy box price. When the buy box changes, it definitely will have a different box. Except when the buy box changes multiple times a day, then keepa's not able to track that. But whenever you're looking at, today, if there's not a pink box, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's nothing selling that time. It just means you can look at the most recent pink box, and that's probably what's going on right now. Ann says, I'm starting to see why keepa costs money now. If you know how to use it, then it's worth the money and more. Absolutely, Ann. Keepa used to be free, and they used to, but as they continued to add more and more features and more options, and they started gathering that information from Amazon even more often, then it started to cost them a lot. And so now they're charging. I'm glad they're charging, because here's the thing. When keepa charges you for their service, for their important information, like the sales rank information, the buy box information, that is a barrier to entry from someone who is like, I don't want to pay for that information. I don't want to pay for keepa. I'm fine if you making more bad decisions without keepa. I want to make better decisions with keepa. You can load up Amazon inventory with stuff that's never going to sell or sell occasionally, stuff that you're going to have to lower your prices on consistently, and you're going to grow a lot slower in your Amazon business. Meanwhile, my items are selling faster. I'm able to have more inventory fly off the shelves at the prices I expect them to, and I'm going to grow my Amazon business exponentially. And so I'm fine with that. So I'm glad keepa is charging for it, because it's going to cause some people to shy away from it, and they're going to miss out on all it has to offer. And that's why I put this course together, because keepa is so, it's like, it's like there's just so many different bells and whistles that most people don't know what those bells or whistles are there. Most people are just like, I'm just looking at the price history and the sales rank history and Amazon in stock, and I'm done. But there's so much more. I'm just scratching the surface with what I'm talking to you about in this webinar. I mean, if I'm able to have 5 hours of laser focused training, and I've got more ideas for more videos and trainings focused on keepa to add in the future, then this thing is huge and massive and totally worth it. Thomas says, okay, how did you catch that sales rank going from 7.2 million to 454K? Still confused how you caught it. So in fact, let's go back to that page. All right. So I sourced the item on Friday, August 18th. So that's the day that I was sourcing the item. And I saw that the sales rank when I sourced it was 454,000. And I thought, oh, that's a good sales rank. It looks good to me. I like this sales price. I'm going to purchase it. But then I looked at the keepa graph, and I saw that the keepa graph showed me that the sales rank just a few hours before was 7 million. And so I don't have, this is not an active keepa graph right here. This is just an image that I took. But as you move your finger, if you're on your phone, or if you move your cursor when you're on a computer, that information will change. That little box of information will change, just like I have these little screen captures. And so I was able to see that it was 7.2 million ranked just hours before, and so I could make a better decision when it comes to sourcing. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, there we go. Oh, Kim McCaffrey was saying another awesome thing about Scoutify is that in fact, I'll show you. When we're looking at the Amazon Seller app versus Spotify, and the Amazon Seller app does not have easy links to keepa, right here, if you click on this sales rank, and I don't have a picture of it to show you, but if you click on that sales rank, that number here will change to a percentage, and it will tell you what percentage compared to the rest of that category that this particular item is in. And so if you're on your phone and you press this sales rank number, it will change to 1% of 6.1 million toys in the Amazon catalog. And so the top 1% is the best. If it says top 2%, still good, just not as good as the top 1%. Top 3%, still kind of good, but not the best and the best of the best. All right, another question. Where does keepa get their information of? I'm sure from direct link to Amazon, but how often is keepa data updated? So yeah, keepa has an API integration with Amazon where they're able to go in and behind the scenes request that information from Amazon, and Amazon provides that information to them. And so they're able to go in that way. And again, like I said, most items on Amazon, keepa is getting, multiple times a day, they're getting updates of that information. Some items that might not be as popular, that have higher sales ranks, that, they might be going in once a day to get that information. But almost all the items are getting updated multiple times a day. So you can see, just like I saw when I was looking at that one item that jumped from a 7.2 million rank to a 400K rank, they were going in multiple times a day, and I could see that. So good question. Mary says, am I correct in thinking that you can only get Spotify if you have Inventory Lab? Is it not an independent app? Yes, Spotify comes bundled with Inventory Lab. Inventory Lab is a desktop program that is one of my top tools that I use in my Amazon FBA business, that I use for creating my shipments when it comes to tracking all of my numbers. I mean, if you don't know your numbers in your business, then you're not really in a business, you're in a hobby. So you need to know your numbers, your profit and loss. You need to know how much you're spending on inventory, how much you're spending on supplies, and making sure that you're actually making money. So Inventory Lab helps crunch all of that and a ton more. Check it out, fulltimefba.com/inventory lab. And yes, it comes with the Spotify app bundled with it. And if I had to choose between Spotify and Inventory Lab, which one I like more, I couldn't, because I love them both equally, and I think you need them both equally as much. Crystal says, thank you for this information. What about when the details screen says Amazon has the buy box, but there is no orange on the keepa graph? Either that means that keepa has not gone on recently. That might mean that Amazon is in the buy box recently and keepa just hasn't come in to grab that information yet. That might be what's going on. But yeah, if you are looking at a sales page and you see Amazon's in the buy box, then then that's good to know. Good question. How would you use this to determine if you want to merchant fulfill or FBA an item? There are times, like I said before, when like 99% of the time, 99.9% of the time, I'm going to sell via FBA because I like outsourcing that part of my Amazon business. I don't want to store my items. I don't want to ship my items. I don't want to go to the post office. I don't want the post office even to come to my house and pick it up. I want to, I want to outsource that, because that opens me up to spend more time, finding more inventory. And so I don't want to merchant fulfill. The only times I ever do merchant fulfill might be right before Christmas, when if I sent this item to Amazon, then I know that it's not going to get there in time for pre-Christmas sales. And I think that's going to be my greatest profit time. And so I might merchant fulfill an item then, knowing that that extra profit will be worth my time spending to merchant fulfill an item. The only other time I would, and there's actually, we actually talked about this a little bit. The only other time is when you see a graph like this, where you look at a keepa graph and you see the competitors are going up, the prices are going down. I need to get in this now, because if I have to wait a week for an item to go live on Amazon, the price is going to be too low. So if I know I can spend the time to merchant fulfill it right now, I might price it at the lowest price possible, merchant fulfill, to be able to sell that item. But that's a really good question to ask. But again, when it comes to growing your business to finally make a full-time income with part-time hours, you want to outsource as much as you can. The more you outsource, the more time you can focus on using your keepa skills to find profitable inventory. Ann asks, are there times where prices go way up because the listing has only one FBA seller and they're almost out of stock? Yeah, there are times when that happens when an Amazon seller will price. But sometimes if an Amazon seller's price is way too high, it's because it might be too high that not even anyone will purchase it. So you want to be aware of that. So you want to look at the past to make sure that this is what I can still expect. Andrea asked, does keepa also rank used items on Amazon? I don't want to confuse sales rank with used price graphs, but it does help you look at different prices. It gives you the overall used low price, but then like on books, it'll give you the lowest like new price and the lowest very good price and the lowest good price and acceptable price, and show you how those prices change and fluctuate. So yes, keepa is also really good for buying and selling used items on Amazon because you can look and see what those prices have been. Ashley says, will the new course focus on how to use keepa with Amazon flips? Yeah, there is a module where I talk to you about how to use Amazon and how to use keepa to find Amazon flips. And if you don't know what an Amazon flip is, for those of you listening, it's when you buy something on Amazon to sell on Amazon. You find a low price on Amazon to sell it for a higher price. You can use what I've already shown you in this webinar to do that, because you can see there's times where you can buy an item that's low price and you're like say for instance, today is September 24th. There's items that you can buy on Amazon today that in 2 months will be $20 to $30 higher. You know, they could be 50 to 60% higher priced in a few months, because I'm recording this in September. Q4 is coming. October and Q4, little kick in sales, but November, the sales really start to skyrocket. And then December, sales are just off the charts. And what happens is the stock level is going down, which that's the supply. And when supply goes down, if the demand is there, prices go up. So there are things that you can actually buy right now on Amazon that will be selling for 50% higher price in November. And so I show you in the course how to do that. Just know Amazon does have rules that you cannot use Prime shipping to ship an item to yourself to sell on Amazon. You just click on the little free. You can still get the free shipping option. It's just not the Prime 1 day or 2 day or same day type of shipping. They don't want you to use the Prime shipping if you're intending on resale. That's part of their terms of services, and you don't want to break the terms of services. You don't want to lose your Amazon selling account. You don't want to lose your Amazon buying account. So I do walk you through how to be able to do those Amazon to Amazon flips with keepa to be able to point those out. And there's a few other strategies in the course that I show you to do Amazon to Amazon flips that I'm not going to talk about because I've already given you one. I think there's 2 or 3 more that I do to help you find those Amazon flips. What do you do when you do all your due diligence and the price still gets tanked? Like when that happens to me, I'm just glad that it doesn't happen 10 times as much, because I really do believe that I avoid the tanking prices 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100. I never actually have counted that. I'm too busy sourcing for inventory, but I can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, the number of items that I purchased that have tanked in price or tank in sales rank are drastically reduced. And the items that I'm buying and selling on Amazon that sell quickly and for a higher price has drastically increased. And here's how I know that. Back in 2014, I believe. 2014, I was able to sell 6 figures on Amazon, but I was averaging, it was about 3,000 inventory items in my inventory per month. And if you're like, whoa, that's a lot. Yeah, it was. I made that many bad decisions on purchases that I was buying. I had 3,000 items in my inventory in order to make 6 figures in sales. But then I started using sales rank and pricing history. And the very next year, I only had 1,500 items on average in my monthly inventory, while increasing my sales by 50%. So I increased my sales by 50%. I decreased my average inventory by 50%. The next year, keepa continued to evolve and had new information. And again, I was able to increase my sales while decreasing my inventory to about 800. Fast forward to this day, every year, my sales increase on Amazon, my monthly inventory supply decreases. We are down to about an average of 350 items in my inventory every month. That doesn't mean 350 items for the entire month. I mean, if you look at the average number of items in my inventory every month, we on average every day have 350 items in my inventory. Some stuff that I'm sending into Amazon is making that number go up. The stuff that's selling is making that number go down. And so I continue to make more money on Amazon by decreasing the amount of inventory items in stock that I have at any particular time. And so that's just been amazing. I am sending stuff to Amazon that is flying off the shelf faster than I can I could never, by making the decisions that I make using Keepa, I can never ever get up to even 1,000 items in my inventory ever again, because that stuff just sells faster. So again, selling items faster at higher prices than I expect them to. The items don't tank as often as they used to, and so yeah. People ask me, how many items do you need in your inventory to make a full-time income? I'm like, well, you can make it work with 3,000, but you can also make it work with 400. It's just all about making better decisions with your inventory purchases. The better decisions you make, the lower number of items you need in your inventory. So if that gives you an idea of how many inventory items you need, you can totally make it work with this 350 items in your inventory if you continue sourcing and feeding the beast, sending inventory to Amazon, and you continue to see those sales come in by buying inventory with Keepa graphs. So good question. How do you research a brand new item that you want to list on Amazon, one that's not being currently sold on Amazon? So if you kind of want to know what to expect with bringing a new item to Amazon, the best thing that you can do is to look at a Keepa graph with other items that are similar and kind of see what their sales are and what their sales ranks are and what their prices are, and just do your research that way. That's what I would do to know how to best price my item that I'm sending, that I'm going to add to Amazon. But Keepa mostly is about looking into the past so you can better predict the future. A lot of people say, Stephen, you've done retail arbitrage, you've done online arbitrage, you've done wholesale. Are you going to do private label next? And private label, if you don't know what it is, it's buying an item, slapping your own label on it, maybe making some tweaks to the particular item, and selling it on Amazon. Sometimes it's completely brand new items. Sometimes it's just generic items with your own brand label stuck on it. And I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to buy items that have a proven past, proven sales rank consistency, proven price consistency, so that I can use that proven past to know what to expect in the future. When I'm buying retail arbitrage, I find items that, and only buy items that have a consistent sales rank at a particular point. And in the course, I tell you what those sales ranks comfort zones are. And so I'm only buying items. When I'm doing online arbitrage, I make sure that I only buy items that have a consistent sales rank where my comfort zone and the ROI is strong enough and does not fluctuate as much. When I'm buying wholesale items, same thing. I'm looking into the past, finding items that are proven winners that I purchased, and that's why my inventory levels are going down on average, but my sales and profits continue to increase year after year. Veronica says, do you have a maximum number of sellers you are willing to compete against? So I basically take a look at the number of sales I can expect for that particular item, and then look at the competitors, and so it fluctuates. There's times where, like, when it comes to selling shoes on Amazon, I might, maybe one or two. I mean, I'm more comfortable selling shoes that are sold out otherwise. I will take one or two competitors in selling shoes, but more than that, if there's 3 or 4 competitors selling the exact same shoe size variation, then I'll probably pass. But when it comes to a book, and I look at the number of sales to expect, I might be more. And so it all just is, it's fluid, and there's no one hard number. Actually asked, do you in your course understand how subcategory ranks, how those work in the Keepa course? No, because I can totally sum it up for you right now. Ignore subcategory rankings. The subcategory rankings are for, the only reason Amazon has subcategory rankings is for the buyers. For the buyer to see a better ranking number for a particular item. They're like, oh, this book is ranked, 4.5 million in books, but it's ranked number 5 in books about goat farming and goat milking. It's like that's that little subcategory. That's just so they can sell more stuff. Subcategories, the number one reason Amazon has subcategories is for the buyer's perspective for them to see a better number. And so looking at the main Amazon categories, like when you go to Amazon and you see the little search bar, and you see the little button next to the search bar, which opens up a menu, those are their list of the main Amazon categories. And so those are the numbers that you need to be looking at and comparing the percentage of where the sales rank that you are looking at falls in that main category. Great question. Someone's asking me to do a walkthrough about variations with sizes and colors. I've got a few questions about that, but that would take me another 15 to 20 minutes, which is why it's a module in the course. You can see keepa and parent-child variations. I'll walk you through understanding that in the course. All right, it looks like most of the questions y'all are asking are focused on stuff we've either already talked about, but if there's any other questions that stand out, I'll post in the Full-Time FBA Facebook group some of the answers to those questions. So if you're not part of our Full-Time FBA Facebook group, fulltimefba.com/Facebook, you can join the group. We just ask you 3 questions to make sure that you are an Amazon seller and that you're human and not a robot or a spammer. So you can check that out there. But right now, best time to get the Reseller's Guide to Keepa. fulltimefba.com/Keepa course. I guarantee you it will revolutionize your Amazon FBA business, and I don't say that lightly. I understanding this, like I said before, we keep making more money year after year, even though there's more restrictions, even with all the frustrations of selling on Amazon today and dealing with Seller Central and things like that. We continue to increase our profits. We continue to lower our average inventory levels. Things are just flying off the shelf so much faster. So check out the course, 60-day money-back guarantee, lifetime updates, lots of training that will help you in your Amazon FBA business. fulltimefba.com/Keepa course. So check out the course, use the coupon code KEEPA to save $20. Thanks so much for joining me today. Thanks for all the great questions. I appreciate every single one of you. I look forward to seeing you in the Facebook group. And so have a great day, everybody. God bless. Talk to you later.